morning. I'm Katie Flood. I'm the HR Generalist and Benefits Administrator for Scott Madden. I work out of the Raleigh office, and I just passed my 3-year mark here at Scott Madden. Today, I'm going to go over kind of an HR and our HRIS, our Human Resource Information System, UltiPro, kind of an overview of throughout your first year here, different things that may come up that UltiPro is going to help you complete certain tasks, or if you have something come up with, say you move, how do I change my address in the system, things like that. We're going to pretend that everyone started on June 1st. So this is going to be a kind of the year in the life if you started June 1st. These dates are completely made up. So you are not going to, roll off your first project exactly 2 months after you start. These are just made up dates that I did as trying to give you just kind of a general idea of when things happen and how you utilize UltiPro with those kind of events. So we're meeting with our sponsor, we get our first paycheck, we're rolling off a project, we're taking a vacation, we go to the firm meeting, again, quarterly sponsor meetings, you get married or have a baby. So we'll talk about life events during that time, open enrollment, your end of year information with your sponsor, and the partners meeting. I'll touch base on personal development, but Kristen Overman, who's our HR manager at the back of the room, she's going to go in detail later. So get excited. And then you made it. You got here a year. So you'll start your first day at Scott Madden like this guy. They're going to love you. So 3 things that happen on your first day here is that you'll complete the I-9 within the onboarding system. So you'll have to bring in your identification documents. That's the US government. That's not us being hard on you guys. I'll give you your UltiPro sign-in, and then I'll go over some benefits overview with you. So if you all wouldn't mind opening your laptops. This is going to be interactive, so I really want you guys to, I don't want to stand up here and just talk for an hour. So if you wouldn't mind, asking questions, play around with it. If I don't go over a certain menu option, feel free to ask. This is the website here at the top, https://ew24@ultipro.com. Some of you already have your own, if you've already started, you have your individual accounts already. For those who have not started, we have a training session user. The username is onboarding@scottmadden.com. And the password is capital P password _1234! So I'm going to let everyone sign. Okay, so welcome Beyonce. New hire, first name new hire, last name training. Is who you'll be using today as if this is your personal page. So when you first sign in, this is the main dashboard. Mine looks slightly different because I've had a pay in the past, I've accrued some time off, and I do have some menu options that you may not have. The first thing I want to talk about is this. These are quick links. Anything on this front is a widget or a quick link, however you want to think about it. So if you click on that, on Beyonce's face, it'll get you to the employee summary page. This is just kind of here's your name, your address, your title, your extension number, your phone number, things like that. And it also gets you into the actual menu option. One thing I want to talk about before I go on is the Scott Madden links at the very top of the page. You can think of this as a quick way to get back to your dashboard. So if you click on that, it'll always get you back to the home page. Another option to do that would be to do menu and home, get you the same place. These black boxes are called, again, a quick link to a page within the system. So they're standardized, they're given to all new hires with the same 6, but you can change these around. So if you were to hover over one of the black boxes, go ahead and try this as I'm talking, you'll see an X appears at the top right. So if you were to click that X, it would go away, and then there's a plus sign that you can add. So if you guys wouldn't mind playing around with that, adding a different quick link here, to your dashboard. Next up is your pay widget. Again, on the home screen that you're seeing with our training user, you don't have one because we didn't pay new hire training. But once you have a payroll within the system, this widget will show up. You can click on that to go to your last pay statement. Keep in mind that we do pay expenses in the system, so this may be the expense pay statement instead of your salary. If you go ahead and, another way to get to this would be to go to Menu, Myself, Pay, and if everyone would go to that page right now, I'll show you that the first one does say current pay statement, but if you go one menu option over, it says pay history. So again, that's Menu, Myself, Pay. So this would be where you would go to look for your salary statement. If I could get everyone back to the dashboard again. Your inbox. You do have a to-do currently that Kristen will utilize during her training. Feel free to go ahead and click on the inbox, but please don't do anything with the test review that's in there currently. But this is where, once you've had a project review and your project manager has filled out a review for you, this will be where it's housed. You'll have to go in, you can review and see comments and ratings. You have the option of putting in a comment, and then you would acknowledge and save that, yes, I did have that conversation with that project partner about my time on that project, and then it's saved into history on your profile. Again, so last thing I'll go over on just the basic navigation is the menu. A lot of times if you ask me, hey Katie, I need to do this, I can't remember where it is in the system, I'm going to give you the menu path of starting with Menu, Myself, Pay, and that's how we'll navigate through the system. This is just to show you how, if you were to click again on that main page with just your the face, up at the top right it says Menu, Myself, Personal, and I just wanted to show this, that's the same Menu, Myself, Personal. So anytime you're on a page, it's going to give you the navigation in the top left corner. I'm going to do a really high-level benefits overview right now because I'll send you more information. There's a really nice video that we have. So our medical is through Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina. That's no matter what office you're in. We have a traditional PPO plan, and we also offer a high-deductible plan with an HSA. Our dental and life insurance is through Guardian. Our dental, we have one of the largest networks that a dental plan offers. And the life, you'll have one-time salary, that's 100% company paid. And then you can also have the option of, for $5 a month, to buy an additional 20% for life and AD&D policy. We offer FSA medical and FSA dependent care through Pro Benefits. Our wellness program does have a Fitbit aspect to it. All of you would be eligible to start for our July through December Fitbit challenge. I can send more information when you first start about that, but a quick overview is that the company would reimburse $60, a one-time $60 reimbursement towards a Fitbit. And then if you stay with the step goals for 5 out of the 6 months, you get $30 off your medical premium for the next 6 months. So it's a good way to have some free cash and get out there and get moving, which is what we want you to do. Our 401k is through Wells Fargo. You're eligible to start contributing the start of a quarter after you've been here a month. So in our case, our new hires started at 6/1, 7/1 they're eligible, and 7/1 is the start of the quarter, so they can put in on 7/15 their first paycheck, they can start contributing to their 401k. Are there any questions?
Do you do that through Multipro?
You will. So, and I'll get to that, well, we might as well just do it right now. So if you go to Menu and Life Events, so Menu, Myself, Life Events, this is where you'll go as a new hire. And there's an option there that says, I am a new employee. You would click that link. It's going to open a wizard to go through each of our plans. You can add dependents there. And it'll go through medical choices, then dental, HSA, et cetera, et cetera. Again, I'll send you more information when you first start about that process. So, just a quick overview. I really put this slide in here so when you have it, when you actually start, it's going to be this. You'll have access to this slide deck. This is where, if you have questions about your expenses or my payroll, I don't know how to do something looked off, or time entries. Who do I contact? Each one of these pictures is a quick link to the email address of that person as well. You can find this information on SID, which I think you already had an overview of, but this is just another place that you can look for who do I contact. So sponsorship, you should be meeting with them quarterly. You should be just sending a quick email, hey, I'd like to get together to talk, to just get to know you would be kind of the first one. Your first paycheck. I did want to go over this because sometimes it's not abundantly clear. So your first paycheck will be in arrears. So you'll be if we're starting on June 1st, the first paycheck's not going to be until July 15th. So I wanted to just make that clear to everyone, just in case before you take a big trip this summer, make sure you hold off maybe a little cushion. Expenses and wages are both paid at the 15th of the month for the month previous. So, and again, it'll show up here. This will go to your current pay statement. That more than likely is your expenses. And then this would be where, your expense one would be the top one and your salary would be the next one down. Mine looks a little different. I'm on a little different pay schedule, but I just wanted to put that in case anyone had any questions. So you're rolling off your first project. All project and end of year reviews are completed within UltiPro. So when you roll off, I then push the review out to the project partner. They complete it and then send to you. You should be having a conversation with them at least over the phone. We love it if you actually are sitting down one-to-one with that project partner to go over what happened on the project. And then after that conversation, you'll go in. You'll have the to-do like you all have on the new hire training session, and you can review anything that was said and the rates and the comments, and then you sign and acknowledge that, yes, you did meet with the partner about this. I did want to show this. So the menu option here is Menu, Jobs, Reviews, and that gets you to show both history, so any completed ones, and in progress. Vacation. We love going on vacation. I hope you're as happy as this guy going through TSA, although I'm not really sure TSA would approve of this. Just a quick overview of the process. Putting through a PTO request is done through the system. This automatically sends to Jennifer for approval. So if you're on the beach, not currently on a project, you would just send the PTO request to Jennifer so she's aware, so she doesn't try to book, put you on a project during that time off. If you're staffed on a project, you still will put it through the system, but please make sure you're communicating with your project team as well. So letting them know so they can say, okay, I'm not going to schedule this in-person meeting that you have to be there for that day that you requested off. There's a quick link on the dashboard if everyone can go back to the dashboard. So if you just hit the links in the beginning. On the right-hand side is your time off. You'll notice that our new hire has not accrued any vacation, but you can still click that time request time off, and it'll go directly into if you were to add the PTO request. So you put in the dates. If everyone wouldn't mind just trying it out, because it's a little quirky. If you were to put in like over a weekend, it'll try to count those weekend days. I just wanted to show you that you can then adjust the hours you're requesting off. So that kind of usually trips people up the first time they're requesting kind of a Friday, Monday off. It'll put in that you're requesting off 32 hours. Well, we're not going to ding you for Saturday and Sunday, so just change those hours in the system.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
So if you have like a long weekend coming up and you technically want to take off Friday, but you don't know if you're going to have to, like if maybe you can fly out of the client site or something, well, how would we do that? Can we like put it in as a request and then change it later?
Yes, so that's another thing I was going to say is there is a comment box when you're requesting off, and you can always put in a little note to Jennifer to say, hey, actually, I'm not quite sure if it's going to be Friday or not, just, based on this, information. And also what you put in here is just something so Jennifer knows. So this is not going to hit your balance. It's not going to adjust those hours that you've accrued. This is just so Jennifer can staff accordingly. And it's a way for you to kind of check, oh yeah, those have been approved, or maybe I need to check with Jennifer on that one that's been out there for a little while or something. But yeah, no, these can be adjusted at any time, and they actually don't have any impact on those hours accrued. So I wanted to just put this slide up here for the firm meeting. This doesn't have anything to do with UltraPro, but I do think it's a great time to just get together with all 3 offices and really get to know your fellow coworkers. We have some fun. It's social. We do have development, though. I mean, we try to have fun but learn as well. I was on the committee last year, so I was very proud. We had a Summer Olympic themed kind of games, and I'm really excited for this year. I think they're gonna cook up something good. So that's in mid-August always. It's not the 15th, but. So again, we're gonna meet with your sponsors. So quarterly, you'll just email them, just, hey, let's grab a coffee. Would you like to get lunch? Let's take a walk. Anything that you can do, just a quick, it doesn't have to be a long, scheduled, very formal meeting. We want these to be informal, but we want you to be talking to your sponsors so they have an idea of how things are going. So if you're, frustrated about something, you can reach out to your sponsor. If you don't feel comfortable yet with your sponsor, you do have an onboarding ambassador. Reach out to them. You can always come to Kristen and I. There's a lot of resources for you if you are struggling or having questions about some things. So never feel like you're, the only man out to sea. So, life events. So let's say you get married or you have a baby. There's some things you want to consider here. So your benefits. Will you be adding a new dependent onto our plan? Tax withholding. Are you going to be changing from single to married? Contacts. So maybe you need to update your emergency contact. Maybe you would initially put in your mother or your roommate. Now you want to make sure that your emergency contact is, your spouse. And then your beneficiary. So especially with our Wells Fargo and the life insurance, you want to make sure that if you had used someone other than your spouse, to update your beneficiary. We're going to go through each page associated with each one of those now. So wherever you are in UltraPro right now, if you would either go to menu, myself, life events, and here's where you can see in one of the descriptions is I want to add new coverage or I want to drop coverage. Say you got married and then you're going on to their plan. This is the same place that you would go to do this. It's going to bring up the exact same kind of wizard that you went through for your new hire benefit selection. And then that's automatically sent to all of our benefit providers. Your taxes. These are housed under my menu, myself, and pay. And then it's a few down, income tax. So how to change your income tax, it looks maybe a little different. It's a quick link that's on the right-hand side that says Add Change Withholding Form. If you click that, then it'll bring up which one do you want to change, your federal, a state, and then once you click on that hyperlink, that's when you can change from single to married or change your allowances. And then beneficiary, I wanted to just show a screenshot here. I cannot give you access to your Wells Fargo account yet, but Wells Fargo's who our 401k is through. So if you were gonna change your beneficiary, you would just go into my account and my profile, and there's a manage beneficiary on there. Once you start and are eligible to contribute, I'll be sending you information about this, links of how to sign in for the first time, and then usually monthly, I do a check to make sure everyone does have a beneficiary on file. It is important, so. Are there any questions on it? We kind of flew through those. I took up too much time in the beginning, I think. Open enrollment is done through Ulti-Pro. So again, that menu option is myself, open enrollment. If you go there now, you'll see that there are no current sessions open. So, but this happens, we try to get it out right before Thanksgiving. That way you have a nice long weekend to kind of look through if there's any major plan changes or new rates, things like that. This is the only time of a year that you can make any changes like this unless it is a life event. So if you originally signed up for the PPO, but you're thinking, hey, I think I want to go to the high deductible so I can get that HSA. I think I might be spending too much. The only time you can do that is at open enrollment. So it's an important time of year. HR will communicate any changes that take place. I think that's all I got in there. So we're getting towards the end of the year. Oh yeah, sorry.
With regard to the enrollment for new hires for health insurance, so do we, as soon as we start working, we fill in that life event and then it waits a month to then kick in, or how does that
Yeah,
work?
so it's within the system, it's all, the rules are set for whenever your start date is. So it's a month, the start of the next month, start of the month following 1 month of service. So if you start mid-month, it's going to be a little longer than 1 month. If you start on the 1st, it's going to be the very next month. And that's all within the system. There's effective dating that's automatically set up. So if you put in it knows to look at your hire date, and then based on that, it sends to the benefits providers when the effective date should be. And you can always double check things like that by going to menu, myself, benefits, and then that will show your current benefits elections and how much am I saving for 401k. I can't remember. I'm going to go over and it's going to show me exactly 3%, 10%, whatever. Any other questions around benefits? So we have the sponsors committee, or the sponsors want to get with you towards the end of the year. They want to see how your year went. So they're going to talk about any of your 2017 projects, any COP involvement. I think that's community of practice. So, usually when you start, you're kind of looking at all of them, and maybe by December you've kind of thought, okay, you know what, I'm really interested in clean tech, so that's where I'm going to go with it. I stole the last two from Aditya. He's one of our directors in Raleigh office. He likes to meet with his sponsorees and talk about their shining moments, so things that they're proud of, and then things they wish they could have do over. Things that they've learned since then that they handled maybe incorrectly, and they now know in future projects how to handle that situation. So every year our partners get together very much like this, I think. I would like to pretend, at least. And they talk about every single employee. So they go through, they start with the directors and they go all the way down to the analysts. They really care about the development of our employees. They spend a lot of time. This is 2 full days, and Kristen was there last year. She's nodding her head. They really talk about every single person, how they're doing. So it doesn't matter if you've been here 3 months or 10 years. They're spending the time to see how you're developing. So, and this is why those meetings with your sponsors are important, because that's what's given to the partners during this February end of year meeting. I'm going to quickly go through this because I said Kristen is going to go through this in much more detail. Well, after that February meeting, you're going to meet back up with their sponsor, and they may have certain things that they want you to work on for development and involvement within the firm. So within Ulti-Pro, if you go to menu and career and education, the first 2 menu options are where you're going to develop your personal development plan. So the first is the firm contributions. These are things that, were you really involved in a COP? Are you an did Jennifer ask you to be an onboarding ambassador? Did you help with recruiting? Diversity committee, I do want to just put a little plug here. I'm a part of the diversity committee. We meet quarterly. That involves everything. So we really like to call it an inclusion committee. We set up the volunteer event that we do in all 3 offices. We do the employee spotlight, which if you haven't gone out on Scott Madden's website and found that yet, we just released it this month, and it was a I thought it was a really well done employee spotlight. So if you're interested in the diversity committee when you start, just email Kim Davenport. She's one of our partners. Personal development, this is where you're going to go in. Again, Kristen's going to go over this in a lot of detail, but this is where you're going to add a plan, put in some tasks that you complete that would help you towards development. So I can't guarantee that every sponsor meeting is going to end like this, but I like to hope so. So after that, you're going to update your PDP and firm contributions. You're going to meet with your sponsor again so they can review it and go over it with you. Hey, actually, these tasks look a little off. Let's change that, or let's add this plan.